My brother proposed to his girlfriend at my daughter's baptism without asking, and everyone forgot why we were there. When I said it was inappropriate, Dad called me a jealous attention seeker. My brother got down on one knee during my daughter's baptism ceremony and I kicked him out of the church. He literally waited until the priest finished blessing Lily and then stood up in the front pew, pulled out a ring box, and asked his girlfriend to marry him. In front of everyone, during my daughter's baptism. I just stared at him for maybe 10 seconds while people started clapping and my mother started crying happy tears. The priest looked confused as hell. My husband grabbed my arm, but I was already moving. "Get out," I said. Not yelling, just flat. My brother turned around with this huge grin. "Come on, sis, I knew you wouldn't mind. Everyone's already here, it's perfect timing. Get out." His girlfriend looked uncomfortable, but she was still holding the ring. My dad stood up and said I was being dramatic. That we should all just celebrate together. That there was enough joy to go around. I looked at my daughter, 3 months old, in my husband's arms wearing the christening gown my grandmother made by hand before she died. The same gown I wore. The gown I'd been planning to have Lily wear since before I even got pregnant. "This is my daughter's baptism," I said. "You just made it about you. Leave now or I'm calling security." My brother scoffed. "Security? It's a church." The priest cleared his throat. "Actually, the family has reserved this time for their ceremony. Perhaps we should." "Thank you, Father," I said. Then to my brother, "Out. Now, both of you." My mother started in about how I was ruining the day, how I was being selfish, how couldn't I just be happy for them. My dad called me a jealous attention seeker who couldn't stand not being the center of everything. "Mom, he proposed during the literal baptism ceremony. How is that not?" "Oh please," my dad said. "The important part was over. You're just mad because people are paying attention to something other than you for 5 minutes." I told them all to leave. My parents, my brother, his now fiancé. My mother cried. My dad called me a bridezilla even though this wasn't my wedding, it was my daughter's baptism. My brother said I'd regret this and that I was being ridiculous. They left. The priest asked if I wanted to continue with the small reception we'd planned in the church hall. I said yes because I'd paid for it and my husband's family was there and they were just as pissed as I was. We had the reception. It was actually nice without them there. Quiet. My mother-in-law held Lily and told me she would have done the same thing. But now my phone won't stop. My extended family is blowing it up saying I embarrassed everyone, that I made a scene, that my brother was just excited and caught up in the moment. My mother sent a text saying I owe them all an apology and that I'm not welcome at the engagement party. My dad sent one that said, "Hope you're happy. You made your brother's engagement about your jealousy." Typical. My husband is on my side, but even he said maybe I could have just let it go and dealt with it after. That kicking them out was harsh. I don't know, was I supposed to just smile and let my daughter's baptism turn into his engagement party? Everyone there literally forgot why we were at the church. People were taking photos of them instead of Lily. Am I a butthole? My brother showed up at my house yesterday with my parents and his fiancée demanding I apologize to all of them in person. I opened the door because I thought it was my grocery delivery. Instead, my dad pushed past me into the living room and said we needed to have a family meeting about my behavior. My brother had his arm around his fiancée like she was the victim here. My mother wouldn't even look at me. "You embarrassed us," my dad started. "In front of the entire church. In front of Father Michael. In front of our friends." I was still holding the door open. "Get out. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about," my brother said. "You can't have a single conversation without being hostile." My husband came down the stairs with Lily. He saw them and his face went hard. "You need to leave, now." My mother finally spoke. "We're her family. We have a right to." "You have no rights in our house," my husband said. "Not after what you pulled." My brother's fiancée started crying. Actual tears. I didn't know he was going to propose then. I thought we were just attending the baptism. But when he did it, I was so happy I didn't think about bullshit, I said. "You had to know. You had your nails done. You were wearing a white dress. Your whole family was in the back rows." She stopped crying real fast. My brother jumped in. Her family came to support us. "And yeah, I planned it, so what? I knew everyone would be there. I knew it would be meaningful. I didn't think my own sister would lose her mind over it." "You proposed during my daughter's baptism," I said slowly. "During the actual ceremony. Not at the reception. Not after. During." "The priest was done," my brother shot back. "He was blessing her. He wasn't done. You just didn't care." My dad moved between us. "Enough. You're going to apologize to your brother and his fiancée for the scene you caused. You're going to call everyone who was there and explain that you overreacted. And you're going to attend the engagement party next month with a smile on your face." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Or what? Or you're not part of this family anymore." My husband stepped forward. "Then she's not part of your family. Get out of our house." My mother gasped like he'd slapped her. "You can't make us." "Yeah, I can. It's our house. You're trespassing. Leave or I'm calling the police." My brother got in my husband's face. "You're really going to call the cops on her family over this?" "Try me." They stared at each other for maybe 30 seconds. Then my dad grabbed my brother's arm. "Come on, let her throw her tantrum. She'll come crawling back when she realizes what she's giving up." My mother stopped at the door. Your grandfather is rolling in his grave. He would be ashamed of you. That one hit different because my grandfather died 6 months ago. The christening gown Lily wore was made by my grandmother for my mother's baptism. My mother wore it, I wore it, and now Lily wore it. My grandfather always said family traditions mattered more than anything. Grandpa would have thrown you out himself, I said. He always said baptisms were sacred. That they were about the child, not the adults. Remember? He made Uncle Rick leave my cousin's baptism when Rick wouldn't stop talking on his phone. My mother's face went red. She knew I was right. My grandfather had been furious about that phone call. Made Rick apologize in front of everyone. They left. My husband locked the door behind them. Then the call started. My aunt, my uncle, my cousins. All of them saying I was being unreasonable. That family forgives family. That I was holding a grudge over something small. My cousin sent a long text about how she let her sister wear white to her wedding and she got over it, so why couldn't I get over this? I told her a baptism isn't a wedding and she said I was splitting hairs. My mother's best friend called to say I was breaking my mother's heart. That my mother cried for 3 hours after leaving my house. That I was being cruel. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. My brother's fiancé posted photos on social media. From the baptism. From the proposal. The caption says, he proposed at the most beautiful ceremony surrounded by family. Not at his niece's baptism. Just at a ceremony. All the comments are congratulating them. Talking about how romantic it is. How meaningful. Nobody's mentioning Lily. Nobody's mentioning the baptism. It's just about them. My husband's mother came over last night. She brought food and held Lily and told me she found out why my brother chose the baptism. His fiancé's parents paid for her sister's engagement party at some fancy venue. Apparently his fiancé wanted something equally memorable and special. So my brother decided our daughter's baptism was the perfect opportunity. They used my daughter's sacred ceremony as a backdrop for their engagement photos. My phone won't stop. My mother keeps texting that I'm destroying the family. My brother posted on social media about toxic family members who can't be happy for others. He didn't name me but everyone knows. My dad sent another text this morning. Last chance. Apologize or don't bother showing up to anything ever again. I didn't respond. But now I'm wondering if I made everything worse. If I should have just dealt with it quietly later. My husband says no, that they needed to be called out. But my whole family is shut out now. Every single one of them thinks I'm wrong. Am I really that out of line here? My brother's fiancé called me yesterday morning crying and saying she wanted to talk without him knowing. I almost hung up, but something in her voice made me stay on the line. She was at a coffee shop 2 blocks from my house and asked if I could meet her. I said fine, but I wasn't apologizing for anything. She was already there when I arrived. Her eyes were red and puffy, no makeup. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. The huge engagement ring was still on her finger though. I need to tell you something, she said before I even sat down. And I need you to not interrupt until I'm done. I ordered coffee and waited. He told me it was okay, she started. Your brother said you two had talked about it. That you were excited about the idea of combining the baptism with a proposal. That you thought it would make the day even more special. He said you wanted to surprise everyone. I just stared at her. I swear I didn't know, she continued. He showed me the ring 2 weeks before and said he'd already cleared it with you. He said you were the one who suggested doing it during the reception, but then he changed it to during the ceremony because he wanted it to be more meaningful. I asked him 3 times if he was sure you were okay with it. He kept saying yes. Why are you telling me this now? She looked down at her coffee. Because I found texts on his phone last night. Between him and your dad. They planned the whole thing together. Your dad suggested it, said it would put you in your place and teach you the world doesn't revolve around you. My stomach dropped. There's more, she said. After you kicked us out, your brother was laughing. In the car, he was laughing and calling you a control freak. He said the look on your face was worth it. That you deserved to be humiliated after acting like you were better than everyone your whole life. So why are you still wearing his ring? She twisted it on her finger. Because I'm scared. My lease is up. I moved half my stuff into his place. My parents already paid for the engagement party venue. Everyone I know thinks I'm getting married. And if I break up with him now, your whole family will say it's my fault. That I'm the one who ruined everything. You're telling me this because you want me to what, exactly? Forgive him? Forgive you? No, she said quickly. I'm telling you because I need you to know I didn't want to hurt your daughter. And because I think you should know your dad is planning something for the engagement party. That got my attention. What kind of something? I don't know exactly. But I heard him on the phone with your brother 2 nights ago. He said you'd either show up and apologize in front of everyone, or they'd make sure everyone knew what kind of person you really are. Your brother asked what that meant and your dad said he'd take care of it. She left after that, didn't drink her coffee, just walked out looking like she might throw up. I called my husband immediately. He came home from work early. We tried to figure out what my dad could possibly be planning, but nothing made sense. I haven't done anything wrong. There's nothing to expose or use against me. Then my cousin called, the one who said I was splitting hairs about the baptism. She sounded uncomfortable. Hey, so I need to ask you something and I need you to be honest. Did you really steal money from your grandfather's account before he died? My blood went cold. What? Your dad is telling people that you took almost $10,000 from your grandfather's checking account in the last month of his life. That you forged checks and withdrew cash. That he has proof but didn't want to say anything because you're family. That's insane. I never touched his accounts. Your dad says he has bank records. Then he's lying or he forged them himself because I never touched that money. She was quiet for a second. Are you sure? Because he's telling everyone. My mom believes him. Most of the family does. I hung up and started shaking. My husband held me while I tried to breathe. My grandfather left me $15,000 in his will. More than anyone else except my mother. He left it specifically for Lily's future, wrote it in the will that it was for his great-granddaughter's education. My dad was furious about it. Said my grandfather was playing favorites. That I'd manipulated a dying old man. I'd ignored him because I knew my grandfather made his own decisions. But now he's claiming I stole from my grandfather before he died. And people are believing him. My phone started going off. Text after text from family members. Most of them saying they're disappointed in me. That they can't believe I'd steal from my dying grandfather. That I owe the family the money back. My mother sent one that said, "You've always been selfish, but this is unforgivable." My uncle, my grandfather's son, called me a thief. Said he's considering pressing charges on behalf of the estate. I called my grandfather's lawyer. The one who handled his will and his accounts. Left a message explaining what's happening and asking him to send me copies of all the account records from the last year of my grandfather's life. He called back within an hour. Said he'd already gotten 3 calls this morning from my family members asking about the missing money. He pulled the records. There are no missing funds. Every withdrawal is documented and accounted for. Most were for my grandfather's care, his medication, his bills. Nothing was stolen. Your father knows this, the lawyer said. I spoke with him personally about the account records when we were settling the estate. There was no money missing then and there's no money missing now. Can you send that to my family? I can send you a letter stating the account was properly managed and fully accounted for. But your family members aren't entitled to those records unless they're named in the will or have legal standing. Your father knows that too. He's making it up, completely fabricating it, and people are believing him without question. The engagement party is in 3 days. I'm not going obviously, but now I'm terrified about what else he's planning to say. What other lies he's spreading. My husband wants to send a mass text to the whole family with the lawyer's letter. But I don't know if that'll even matter. They've already decided I'm guilty. Was I wrong to kick them out? Is this my fault for not just keeping quiet and letting it go? The engagement party happened last night and I wasn't there, but apparently half the family walked out. My husband's mother called me at 11 p.m. barely able to speak through her anger. She'd gone to the party. Not to support my brother, but to see what my dad was planning. She brought my husband's sister with her as backup. According to her, my dad stood up during the toasts and announced that before everyone celebrated, they needed to address a serious family matter. He said I'd stolen $10,000 from my grandfather in his final weeks. That he had proof. That the family deserved to know the truth about who I really was. My brother's fiancée, the one who warned me, stood up and said that wasn't true. That she'd seen the bank records herself and there was no missing money. That my dad was lying. My dad called her a liar. Said she was just trying to protect me because she felt guilty about the proposal. My brother told her to sit down and stop embarrassing herself. She didn't sit down. She told everyone my brother had lied to her about the baptism. That he'd told her I approved the proposal. That she'd found text between him and my dad planning the whole thing specifically to humiliate me. My brother lost it. Started yelling at her in front of everyone. Called her a stupid bitch who couldn't keep her mouth shut. Said she'd ruined everything. That's when my husband's mother stepped in. She's 68 years old and barely 5 feet tall, but she walked right up to my dad and told him he was a pathetic man who was destroying his own family because he couldn't handle his daughter being more successful than his son. My dad tried to argue with her, but she cut him off. Said she'd spoken to my grandfather's lawyer personally that afternoon. That there was no missing money and never had been. That my dad knew it and was lying anyway. Then she turned to everyone at the party and said if they believed my dad without even asking for proof, they didn't deserve to be called family. She walked out. My husband's sister followed. And according to her, at least 15 other people left with them. Including 2 of my dad's brothers and their wives. My phone started ringing 20 minutes later. My uncle, my dad's younger brother, called to apologize. Said he should have asked for proof before believing anything. That he was ashamed he'd sent me that text calling me a thief. My aunt called crying. Said she'd known my grandfather her whole life and he would be disgusted by what my dad was doing. That she was sorry for not standing up for me sooner. 3 of my cousins texted apologies. One of them said she'd always thought my dad resented me, but she didn't realize how deep it went. But the calls that mattered most came this morning. My brother's fiancée called first. She'd left the party with her parents last night. Took the ring off in the parking lot and gave it back to my brother in front of everyone still standing outside. Her parents apparently told my dad he should be ashamed of himself for using their daughter's engagement to wage war against his own child. She's staying with her sister now. Said she's done with my brother and done with my family's drama. Then my mother called. For the first time in 2 weeks, she actually spoke to me like a human being. She said my dad had gone too far. That she'd asked him to drop it after I kicked them out of the baptism, but he wouldn't listen. That she didn't know he was going to make up lies about theft. So you believe me now? I asked her. She was quiet for a long time. I don't know what to believe anymore. Your father is so angry all the time. He keeps saying you think you're better than everyone. That you've always looked down on us. That you needed to be taught a lesson. What lesson, Mom? That I should let people disrespect my daughter? That I should let my brother hijack her baptism and just smile about it? I don't know, she said again. She sounded exhausted. I just know this family is falling apart and I don't know how to fix it. You can't fix it, I told her. Dad doesn't want it fixed. He wants me to apologize for existing. She didn't argue with that. Just said she needed time to think and hung up. My brother hasn't called, but he posted on social media this morning. A long rant about toxic family members who turn everyone against each other. About people who can't let others be happy. About how his engagement is ruined because of jealous, vindictive relatives who couldn't stand seeing him succeed. The comments are split. Half the people are supporting him. The other half are calling him out, saying they were at the party and know what really happened. Several people tagged me. I haven't responded. My dad hasn't contacted me at all. But my uncle, his brother, called this afternoon to tell me my dad is refusing to admit he lied. That he's doubling down, saying the lawyer is covering for me because I paid him off. That everyone who left the party is just gullible and doesn't understand the real situation. My husband wants to sue him for defamation. Says we have multiple witnesses to the lies and documented proof from the lawyer that no money is missing. That my dad destroyed my reputation and we should make him pay for it. I don't know if I want to go that far. But I also don't know what else to do. Half my family still thinks I'm a thief. My brother's engagement is destroyed and he's blaming me for it. My dad is telling anyone who'll listen that I'm a liar and a manipulator. And my mother is just sitting there watching it all happen, saying she doesn't know what to believe. Am I supposed to just let this keep going? Let him keep lying about me until no one knows what's true anymore? My dad showed up at my house 3 days ago with a lawyer. Not to apologize, to serve me with papers. He's suing me for the $15,000 my grandfather left me in his will. Claims it was obtained through undue influence and manipulation of a dying man. My husband opened the door, saw the lawyer, and immediately called our attorney. I sat on the couch holding Lily while two men in suits stood in my living room explaining that my father was contesting the will and demanding I return the inheritance plus legal fees. On what grounds? Our attorney asked over speakerphone. Emotional manipulation and isolation of the deceased from other family members during his final months, the lawyer read from his papers. I actually laughed. It came out harsh and ugly. I visited him twice a week. The same as I'd done for 10 years. The rest of you barely called. The lawyer handed the papers to my husband and left. My dad stood there for a minute longer. You brought this on yourself, he said. You made me do this. Get out of my house. He smiled. Actually smiled. See you in court. That was Wednesday. Thursday morning my mother filed for divorce. My uncle called to tell me. Said she'd finally had enough. That she told my dad he could choose between his vendetta against me or his marriage, and he chose the vendetta. She's staying with her sister 2 states away. Hasn't called me directly but sent a text that just said, I'm sorry I wasn't stronger sooner. My brother tried to get his fiancée back. She posted screenshots of his messages on social media. Him begging, then threatening, then calling her every name he could think of. Her final response was just, I'm blocking you now. Please leave me alone. He posted another rant about how everyone had turned against him. How his own family destroyed his happiness. How he hoped we were all satisfied now that we'd ruined his life. 17 people commented telling him to grow up. His former fiancé's brother commented, you ruined your own life by being a selfish prick at a baby's baptism. Take some responsibility. My brother deleted the whole post an hour later. Yesterday my grandfather's lawyer sent my dad's attorney a detailed letter. Every single transaction from my grandfather's accounts in his final year. Every visit I made logged in the medical records. Every phone call. Everything documented and accounted for. My grandfather had added me to his will 3 years before he died. Updated it twice, both times giving me more. The lawyer included copies of my grandfather's handwritten notes explaining exactly why. She's the only one who visits without wanting something. The only one who asks about my life instead of my money. She deserves to be rewarded for actually caring. My dad's case was dismissed this morning. The judge apparently told him he was wasting the court's time and that filing frivolous lawsuits against family members for spite was disgusting. My dad has to pay both legal fees. His attorney dropped him as a client. But here's the thing nobody expected. My grandfather's will had a clause. If anyone contested it in bad faith, they forfeit their entire inheritance. My dad was supposed to get $50,000. He gets nothing now. That money gets redistributed to the other beneficiaries. I'm getting an additional $8,000. My uncle is getting the rest. My uncle called me crying. Said his father would be proud of me for standing my ground. That my dad had always been jealous and bitter and now he'd destroyed himself over it. I don't feel victorious. I feel exhausted. My brother lost his fiancée and most of his friends. My mother is getting divorced after 35 years of marriage. My dad lost his inheritance, his lawyer, and his reputation. Half the family won't speak to him. And I'm sitting here with a 3-month-old daughter who's never going to know most of her family because of what happened at her baptism. My husband keeps saying we're better off without them. That they showed their true colors and we should be grateful we know now. Maybe he's right, but I still can't believe my own father would rather sue me than admit he was wrong. That my brother would rather lose everything than apologize for proposing during my daughter's baptism. That my mother waited until everything was already destroyed before finally leaving. I haven't blocked any of them. Haven't changed my number. Part of me keeps thinking someone will call and actually apologize. Actually admit what they did was wrong. But it's been a month now. The lawyer confirmed my dad's case is closed. My mother's divorce papers are filed. My brother's social media is a graveyard of deleted posts and blocked contacts. Nobody's apologizing. Nobody's fixing anything. I'm keeping the money my grandfather left me. Every penny. I'm putting it in an account for Lily like he wanted. And when she's old enough to ask why she doesn't know my side of the family, I'm going to tell her the truth. That some people will burn down everything around them rather than admit they're wrong. And that sometimes the only thing you can do is step back and let them burn.